is E-Business Year Music podcast, where the game behind the music gets real.
Sanbodan to all my lovely people, especially to those who are budding, emerging music creators, music professionals, or even the ones who are already doing into Yabawetu. This is another jam-packed, episode of E-Business Year Music. Right here with Utando Nyame Linyama on Vuma FM, the Mighty V. And guys, if I told you who I have namhlanje, maybe ending call. But let me just give you a sense of what I'm talking about. We're keeping it Durban. We're keeping it KZN, Westville stand up, because that's where she was born, right? And ngikhuluma mina ngomuntu much like ngiyazi abantu bakhuluma ngoMichael Jackson these days. Naye waqala esamncane naye. She was literally young, and now she's actually owned her space into the music space. And ufundile lo muntu. I mean, khona nala kuthiwa wa graduate cum laude with her honors degree. Ngingazi ukuthi uwafunda nama degrees ese successful kangaka. Nyamazi. She's a multi-award winning artist, certified triple platinum for one single called You, right? And sakhuluma nje uneculo ekuthiwa uDeeper bakwethu. That Deeper song, dear God, it earned her a Best Record of the Year at the South African Music Awards. And I want to say this, right? I was actually there that day when she won, and ngikhumbula ngoba when that award was presented, she was probably one of the females who were contending against abantu abaningi who are males that are known to the space. Kanti she's going to bag that award. And she became the second female in 20 years to actually win that very, very award after guess who? Brenda Fassie in Zwil. And she's also the winner of the Masked Singer South Africa. She's going to tell us a little bit about that. And then living publicly, courageously with type 1 diabetes since childhood. And she's a SAFTA winner with the show Ibiza Baking with the Rays. I rana kahle kahle no sis wakho omncane uMimi Ray. Shout out to Mimi Ray right now. I'm sure abaningi benu seniyazi ukuthi sikhuluma ngobani. Right? Sikhuluma ngomuntu who even had an international recognition. I think it was a nomination or things like that, but she'll tell us more about it. American Taste Awards, Honorary Awards, Best Filmed at Home nomination. There's so much more to unpack. Guys, I am talking about a young but very, very established young lady called Holly Ray up in the house. Give it up for Holly Ray. Hey, Holly, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm super good. And you know what makes me even more excited about this is because with you, I get two for the price of
Two
one.
for the price of one. Buy
I
one,
get
get one
the
free.
best in terms of, a coin because it tells me that it's got a tail and it's got a head. I don't know who the head is, who the tail is, but I got the best of both worlds. I got the yin and the yang because she's not alone. She's also with her artist manager. She's with a record label person, a music business executive, someone who's actually running a baking business. She's going to tell me a little bit more about that. But the one thing I like about her being here is that she's been supporting Holly Ray from when she was young to where she is today, and they're still super, super, super tight. If you turn a 1 rand coin, you're going to find either Holly or her mother or manager, or should we say momager, Vivienne Wasserfall, a.k.a. Mommy Ray.
Mommy Ray.
How you doing, Mommy Ray?
I'm good.
Welcome
Thank
to
you.
E-Business Year Music podcast.
Thank you.
Episode 6, and I'm super excited because I've actually seen and watched your career from the sidelines, and sometimes I had the opportunity of seeing you up front and thinking, whew, where is this young girl going? Because she used to hold a guitar in her hand when she was singing, and the next thing she's winning awards, she's doing A, B, and C. Dear God, welcome you guys. Are you guys good?
Thank you. We good. We good.
we are
We're
good.
always surviving, thriving, and just trying to be our best selves.
Best selves is the word. Okay, so just before we go on, I do want to give a special shout out for this episode because it is the Mighty V, Vuma FM that's bringing it. We've got Equator Fashion Incubator actually that dresses us up to make us look nice so that if you watch the show, if you don't like music, at least like the person and the fashion that he's wearing. And we've got Spotless Works SA Consultancy and the media behind it. So this is a shout out moment to them. So mother-daughter in the music business in Durban. That's a very odd situation. I have to say.
It is.
But let's go right back. I think you were probably 13, 14 when I came across you. When did it really start for you, Holly, as the music bug and just getting into it?
It's such a weird question because I don't have a direct answer.
Right.
You know what I mean? Music
Right.
is something that I think like is just intrinsically in you, you know. I want to say I was born with it, but it's something that you're born with, but then is either cultivated or it's not, right?
Right.
But I've always just leaned towards music. From a kid, I was always making noise. I was always writing my own songs and diddles. And like, I always had this bug for music. And
Right,
I had an uncle who was very musical,
Right.
and I would spend hours watching him play music. And my other uncle was a music reviewer for a newspaper.
Right.
So he was always listening to music. So I was always kind of around it. And my mom would have the most incredible like parties at our house where like everyone would like choose songs. And I just think that like music was a big part of my life.
Was she making noise all the time?
Yeah, she
Pretty
was.
much, right?
Yeah, she was.
I remember there was a talent show at school and I wanted to perform Macy Gray. And I was when I was
Oh, man.
at preschool. I was in
Yeah.
like before even grade
She had
one.
weird
I
music
tried to
tastes for kids.
sacrifice my
No, but
choke.
I wanted to perform Sexual Revolution, which
Oh
was
my
really
goodness. What?
like.
All right, how old are you again?
I was maybe like 7.
Dear
I didn't know
God.
what it meant. I just thought it was like musically amazing.
That is so funny.
And my mom got into a bit of trouble. Not trouble, but they were
No,
like,
they were
listen.
just like, what is she listening
Listen,
to at home? You know, but
I was
yeah.
obsessed with like Macy Gray. I just thought she was like
Wow.
phenomenal.
She was
and
different. Completely.
yeah.
I'll tell you that. She
And I
stood
had
out.
a really like obscure taste in music as a kid. As I progressed, I remember there was a time where like Avril Lavigne came to South Africa and all my friends
yeah.
were like going to, and I was like, I don't want to go to Avril Lavigne, I want to go to Mendoza. Like
Are
I
you
just
serious?
always like,
So everyone is going right. You just want to go
Yeah.
left.
always. So I think like the fact that I was going to be in the music industry and I valued musicality over popularity and things like that, I think was an indicator of the fact that I was going to be in the music industry.
Right.
And then I started playing a guitar when I was 9. I started taking lessons, learning how to play the guitar. And from then it just grew into like whatever instrument I could get my hands on.
Wow.
You know, whatever instrument my friends were playing,
You
they
studied
were
music
learning.
on drums
I
for a
studied music
while.
on the
Are
drums.
you serious? I did
Yeah.
not know that.
Yeah.
I studied music on the drums.
I'm thinking guitar because that's what I saw.
No, guitar was like my passion, and I think I felt like I didn't want to ruin that love of it, so
Right,
I
right.
chose the drums.
Right.
I played
That's
the marimba. I bribed all of my friends to convince the teacher to like start a marimba band at
That's
school. Because like if you can get enough
amazing.
people, we'll start
Yeah.
it. So yeah, whatever I could get my hands on, I just wanted to learn.
Sounds like it's just been all your life then.
Yeah, definitely. I
It's
think
been
so.
all your life. You even got your mom in trouble.
Yeah.
and which now brings me to you, Mommy Ray. Is this why you just like basic? Okay, let me just ask this to you like
Yeah.
this: why did you decide to actually, enter the music business industry? I'm just
I
curious.
didn't. It wasn't like a decision. It's just something that evolved.
Did she have anything to do with it?
Yeah, she had a little bit to do with it.
Okay.
But when I was a student, like I was hanging around with a lot of bands and did a little bit of like artist management back then.
Right.
Yeah, and then my brother had obviously been very involved in the music industry.
Right.
He would review any LP that was released by Gallo Records. He got sent everything that Gallo Records
Oh,
brought.
wow.
So
Okay.
I grew up
That's a
with
rich
a
pull.
massive record collection. Everybody came to our house to listen to what was new. So, I don't know, it was just like music has always been a huge part of the history of our family.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, when Holly was showing an interest in it, and I suppose I'd seen like a lot of my friends who'd been in bands
Right.
whose parents discouraged them completely. And I'd sort of seen what that does to kids and their spirit when their parents don't support what their dreams are.
True.
So, yeah, I mean, I just supported wherever Holly wanted to go with her music journey.
Wow.
Yeah, and it got us here.
It's amazing, but I am curious though. What sort of trajectory, or at least the space that you were in at that time, before you decided to, let me support my daughter. Let me walk this journey. What were you doing at that time? Just before you got into the music space.
What was I doing career-wise?
Yeah.
I owned a brokerage.
A brokerage?
Yeah, and I was doing pension funds and medical aid.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it was like completely different, but I hated it.
So was that your business or was it?
No, it was my business. I
That's
owned my own.
amazing.
Yeah.
All right. So then at least you had a sense basically in how you actually were working about how business actually works.
Yeah.
Did you get a shocker when you got into the music business? I mean, this is a business, your music, right? So we're talking about the music business. From just the element of business and, okay, now, Holly is very talented. She's doing her thing and she's getting the attention. But there should be a business situation around that.
Yeah,
There should be
yeah.
some economics, that are happening.
Yeah.
Did it shock your system moving from the brokerage space
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
this?
Also because, I mean, I was a student back in the sort of 80s, and
Right.
the music space was very, very different. There was like a very, very sort of like underground scene. And then, when Holly got into the music, it just, there's no other word to describe it other than
Right.
the music scene in Durban is a very dark scene. And it's just like people are supportive, but then they're supportive for as long as it sort of suits them.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, it was just interesting, particularly since Holly was going into a genre that you would never expect
Right,
a little
right,
white
right.
girl to be in.
Right,
You know?
right.
I think what's interesting, just to add to that, is that I was very boxed in the beginning, right?
Okay.
I think also what happened when I decided, okay, cool, I want to be a musician, is I just started like performing wherever anyone would book me. But now I'm 12, 13. I can't perform at like clubs. I
Right,
can't perform.
right,
Like, where do I
right.
go? It's like little family festivals.
Absolutely.
It's
City
city
gigs.
gigs. It's things that are accessible to
Dan, do you
families.
remember Dan
Chiaboli,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
Dan
so
Chiaboli,
all of
shout
his
out.
events.
Shout
He
out,
was
yeah.
actually the first person to put you on.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And he actually introduced me to Jay Savage, who then offered me my first deal at Sony Publishing. But when I got that deal, it was like, oh my gosh, okay, this is a real thing. It's not just like an underground
Right,
hobby.
right.
This is a business. There's
So-
a business to it.
So now moving from passion to actually
Yeah.
business, from
Yeah.
hobby
And
to
the condition that you put on it was that I took the time to learn about it.
Learn.
Right? And understand the business. Okay, where are my sources of income? What does it mean to be an artist? I
How
don't just
old
play
were
my
you
guitar and sing.
When you signed that
13?
publishing.
13.
Dear
Yeah.
God.
But it was also like an interesting thing because Holly, because she got that publishing deal to begin with,
Right.
it's kind of backwards. It doesn't usually happen like
Yeah.
that in the
Right.
industry.
It's usually record deal, then publishing
Absolutely.
deal.
Yeah.
So it got Holly into rooms that I don't think a lot of people got into.
Right,
Like
right.
we went to Sony, and there was just this kind of sense of how they wanted to box Holly into a certain space, and
Right.
they didn't know where to box Holly. So I mean, I think that kind of crystallized your space. I mean, everybody knew you because you'd been in so many rooms already.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense to you. It's kind of
it
like
certainly does.
Holly happened backwards.
Right. So it's like you open the door and get the key after to actually
Yes,
open the door.
yeah.
That type of vibe.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you talked about a few things that are very, very important. You talked about the support that people gave as long as it benefits them. I want you to hold on to that thought because I really want to sort of engage on that and just find out a little bit more about it. But you also talked about learning. You had to learn the business at a young age, starting with publishing and all those things. And you also talked about learning the business. Now you're moving from what would be known as basic corporate, South Africa, brokerage, pension, that type of vibe. You're moving into this space. And some have said it's a very volatile, very complex, very unforgiving industry if you don't know your business. So let's talk education, right? Let's talk growth and preparation. For some reason, I believe that you've got a UKZN degree. It's two
I
degrees
do.
now.
Yeah, I
right?
have 2 degrees now. and hopefully signing up for the third one.
Okay.
I do have an undergrad in. I was very confused when I was trying to decide what I wanted to study, but I knew I didn't want to study music. But I studied media. My undergrad, I did media studies, communication,
Right,
psychology, and English.
It's still related in a sense.
Yeah,
It's
and
related.
then I did my honors in intercultural communications and media.
Intercultural communications and media.
Yeah.
And I believe you did those honors when people had already known who Holly Ray is.
Yes, I signed up to do my honors at the beginning of 2018.
2018.
And I
right.
released Deeper 3 months into 2018.
Wow.
It was crazy.
And then
It
a
was
little
mad.
birdie actually tells me that this young lady still managed, with all this glitz and glamour and attention on her, to actually pass cum laude.
I did, yeah.
How did you do that?
I wish I had an answer. People always ask. I don't know. I mean, I wrote my pre-thesis like in the back of the
Wow.
bus and on the airplane, and I did not sleep. And I remember
Yeah.
I had like 4 nights before I had to hand in my like pre-thesis, and I literally just didn't sleep. I just like knocked it out because I just didn't have the time.
That is super amazing.
But I loved what
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
studying, and I think that made a difference.
Now tell me, and I'm happy that you say that, because it takes me to where I want to go. Do you believe, while it's not exactly related, with music, but there is a relation, do you feel that being educated at that element, and I think you said you want to go for the third one, so that's the big M, right? So do you think that has, in some form of way, prepared you as Holly, the human being,
Oh,
right?
definitely.
To actually navigate this
Yeah.
difficult industry? Can you
I
just
think
give us your take on that?
One of the biggest mistakes that I think creatives make is this thing that like my talent is enough.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because like honestly, talent isn't enough. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Right.
some of the most talented people in the world, and I can get two people maybe even more talented than Michael Jackson. People talented more than the biggest names
Right.
will never make it because
Right.
it's so much more
Right.
than talent. Some of the biggest celebrities in our country, or singers or musicians, are not the best musicians. Do you know what I mean?
right.
I am not the best vocalist you'll ever come across. Do you know what I mean? I know I'm not. But I took the time to learn and educate myself, and half the battle is that, right?
Wow.
So definitely, I think I've always had a hunger for knowledge and information. And I think going and studying, obviously studying the media space and the industry, that is kind of the core of the music industry.
Right.
It's not really music, it's media, and
Right.
capitalizing on that.
Absolutely.
But also this idea of like teaching myself how to learn. I think that's what studying does. It teaches you how to research, how to learn, how to find out what you want to find out, where to look.
Especially
And I
in a
think-
very complex environment like this.
Exactly, yeah. And I think for me that was kind of the basis of my sort of business acumen as an artist. I mean, obviously my mom is a lot of that. She is the business behind Holly Ray.
Wow. That's powerful.
But she is. But I think my understanding
Ladies and
of
gentlemen,
business.
you heard what she said right there. These are props being given just before Mother's Day.
Oh,
So that's
yeah.
a Mother's
Oh,
Day
of
message
course.
to you right there.
There we go.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that said, thank you. I think that was so powerful. I think one of the reasons why we're holding this podcast is not to sensationalize or maybe find out or just make fun of certain things. It's literally to find out the human behind the
Yeah.
brand. Because sometimes we fail to see past the brand, and when you look at the brand, you make up your own, ideas about what that brand is all about.
Yeah.
And again, note I keep saying brand, not person. That's how
They're very
we,
different.
as the fans, look at a person.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is like you say that, and we're so funny. It's like we refer to Holly Ray, the musician, as Holly Ray.
Right.
And when I'm Holly, the daughter, the just human being, whatever, I'm Holly. And
Miss
we'll be like,
Wasserfall,
Holly
yeah.
Ray has an interview. Holly
Right.
Ray. Like
Yeah.
we try to separate that a little bit
Clark
because
Kent
it
and
is
Superman, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, no, definitely. It has to be.
It's got to be. And I wanna,
Otherwise, it's just so consuming.
it is consuming.
Yeah.
It does take. And I want to bring it to you as well. We're still talking education. And someone once said to me, music has got 3 doors. The first door in the music business ecosystem is music itself, right? Because that's the creation phase. Then you've got the door number 2, which is music business. Then you've got door number 3, which is music industry. And music industry needs music, door number 1, and music business, door number 2, because that's where you get to monetize and protect yourself so you can run circles around it. I want to talk education to you. Now, you've grown in the space. You've been, consuming music, around music people. And now Holly is actually in the music space. And now you find yourself in that space as well.
Yeah.
Education from that. I want to understand the importance of education and educating yourself to safeguard her career.
Yeah.
What was that process like?
And also Spare Mbele.
Right.
I
Shout
mean,
out.
yeah, like that guy has done so much
Shout
for
out
this
to
local
Spembele.
industry. Like, I have so much to be grateful for to him, because, I mean, in any business, and I don't understand how so many musicians get this wrong.
Right.
Is that you absolutely have to understand the foundations of the business that you're in.
Right.
And so, because I didn't understand that, I went to all of the conferences and, you go there as somebody who doesn't know anything. Because trust me, you actually don't know anything most of the time, because the music industry is ever evolving, ever changing.
Absolutely.
So you can't assume that you've been in the industry for 10 years. I mean, we're going through major shift in the music industry right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's completely flipped the script on everyone. So you've just got to constantly be educating yourself, constantly be absorb if there are conferences, go to the conferences. And it doesn't make you look amateur, it doesn't make you look stupid, it actually makes you look intelligent.
Absolutely.
An intelligent musician attends conferences or has their manager or someone from their team.
Right.
And also another thing about conferences is that that's where you meet people that are going to open the doors.
Right.
Because what happens, and when I said it's a very dark place, is that Durban's very cut off from the industry. So what you have is this sort of carteling, I think. Maybe that's a bit of a harsh word, but you have this thing where people like to make you think that they own the industry. But when you start going to the conferences, you realize that the business is completely different to the industry.
Absolutely.
And you need to take care of business first, because the business will actually open the doors to the real industry. So I think people don't want you to get too educated, because then they don't control the route to market. So I mean, am I making sense?
And you always need them.
Yeah, just on a basic level, right? Your basic business, right? Sign a split sheet after you finish a song. Most artists are like, what is a split sheet? What is a... Do you know what I mean? I'm not talking about big business. I'm not talking about even opening a company and running a record. I'm talking about basic, okay, I write a song. What do I own? What is mine?
Right?
What is mine? What is yours? Who sends the song to the radio station? I'm just talking basic level now. Okay, I say da-da-da-da-da on the song. What do I own?
What's my percentage
What is mine?
in that?
How does that work?
And how does
And
my
then what does
percentage
that
get me
mean?
paid?
Yeah,
But
of
not only
course
that,
people don't want
what
you to
does
understand
mean?
that.
Right.
So you say, but how do you go and trace your money? How do you do all of that?
Right.
Because it's actually so shocking to me that I know of big artists in this country who are not collecting their money.
Their royalties, right?
And you're just like, what are you doing this
We're
for?
talking they have millions,
And
maybe even
you're
tens of millions.
What are you actually doing
Wow.
this for? You might say you're not about the fame, but then what are you doing it for? Clearly it's just for the fame, because you're not collecting your money. And then sadly,
now we're all starting GoFundMe pages because you can't afford to pay for your medical care or whatever it is,
Absolutely.
but you actually have millions waiting for you.
Or we're angry saying Samro doesn't pay me. Meanwhile, you're not a member of a Samro, or you're not even notifying.
Or you don't even open your letters from Samro.
You don't read your
Somebody
emails?
told me the most shocking thing about Samro, that their open rate on the emails that they send to members is 20%.
But then they'll have a AGM or they call a meeting and all the artists are shouting in the meeting about their money. But you don't even open the letters that they send
the
you.
email, because
Also, please don't think I'm saying that
Yeah,
there
no,
isn't dodgy other
issues.
things happening.
Yeah,
I'm just
there
saying
are.
it starts with educating yourself.
I feel like a lot of these dodgy things would actually dodge us if we actually knew what we were doing in the business, because it's about us. Because people tend to take advantage and try to exploit you if they see that you don't know what you're talking about. I mean, recently on this very podcast, I had the GM of Samro, Garabo Sena, shout out, who basically told me that, to my face, to the podcast right here, that last year alone, they collected, I think, roughly about 682 million rand to actually distribute to people. And this goes out to people who say there isn't money in the industry. So that said, have you been receiving your royalties from Samro?
I
Just
have.
out of curiosity.
I have. And I have done an audit on Samro as well.
All right.
And I had to be very honest. They were very open to my audit.
Oh, wow.
They saw that was missing funds. They allocated them and they sorted it out. I know people do have big problems with Samro.
Right.
I have built quite a good relationship with them, and if I feel like I need to do an audit, I'll do an audit.
Absolutely.
But
Well,
I
that's
know
your
that I
right.
have the right to do an audit
That's
in the
your
first
right.
place, you know.
And again, that goes back to education. If you don't know what rights you have and you know how to navigate around the system, you'll let people get away with things. So that said, you said Samro is treating you good. Do you ever find, because I believe there's about 4 collective, management organizations, and I'm not talking about the companies themselves, I'm talking about the rights. So Samro is performing rights, Capaso's mechanical. I want to know if Capaso pays you. I want to know if Sampra pays you needle time. Do you get your needle time? Do you get your, the RISA audiovisual royalty, which is literally your music videos? Have you been getting those stuff, or do you ever get runarounds? I'm just curious.
The thing is that because Holly's publishing is with Universal,
Right.
those Capaso and
good.
that goes to.
So
it
it's
goes to them,
handled.
yeah.
Yeah, and they're very good at
Universal
administering
we're
the sort of
collecting obviously
publishing side.
from Samro, from Sampra, and then a bit of a blurry line about Impra and Sampra, and we're kind
Tell
of going
us a
through
little
that
more
at the
about
moment.
Impra and Sampra, aren't they doing the same thing?
They are, and I think that's where the problem lies. I think you always hear people say there's no money in music. There's so much money in music.
Right,
And if there
right.
wasn't money in music, there wouldn't be sharks trying to steal money from music. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Sharks wouldn't be circulating if there wasn't something for them to eat from. I think that issue is very messy. It's quite contentious at the moment, and we're kind of in the middle of it right now, trying to figure our way through. Sampra, we've actually never had
an
problems
issue
with. They're really open in communication. The other rights organization we've struggled with a little bit. And I think that it's really important that artists do take some time to read about what's going on.
Absolutely.
Read what's going on in the media, read the newspapers, don't take what anyone says to you as
But also
fact.
research the history, because sometimes it's not sitting in the current media.
Right.
It's actually historical. So you need to you need to take an interest in the history of the music industry.
True.
And how that all comes together, and so
I think also this is going to take a few steps back, but something that really frustrates me about this industry, and it's not necessarily to do with collection societies, is when I see artists coming out and they'll be like, oh, this record label stole my money, or this manager stole my money, or whatever. And then you say to them, well, did you read your contract? No. Did you understand what the clauses were? No. Did you take an advance without reading your Yes, I did. And it's just like, yes, these people are sharks, right? These people are out to get us. But you have to have an understanding that people are sharks and people are out to get them. Therefore, what do I do to prevent that? If I'm getting offered a R1 million advance and I go, oh, stop, I'll take it. Great. I'm kind of to blame when things go wrong. It's horrible, but you have to
make
take
it work for you. Okay, so an advance is not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it isn't.
Okay, but what you must remember is that those sort of 360 deals, so often what they'll do is they'll throw a lot of money at you, but then you must remember that every meeting that is held, every cup of
coffee that is drunk in every
everything
meeting
is actually charged to your account.
Okay.
So you then kind of end up in this never-ending kind of indebtedness.
So it's correct when the economists say there's no such thing as a free lunch.
There's no such
Exactly.
thing
I
as a
mean,
free lunch.
I made the mistake really early on in my career of signing to a record label, and I remember when I wanted to get out, they sent me a list of expenses
Right.
and why I was indebted, and things like one Nando's burger that one person ordered while they were working on my marketing campaign.
And you were not
It's-
told as well that this is going to be charged to
No,
your
no,
account.
no, no, no.
Receipts,
Alright.
You
guys.
go
They
for
keep
a
receipts.
meeting.
So receipts are very...
Yeah, you go for a planning meeting and they put lunch on. That is charged to your account.
So do
Yeah.
you think there's limited transparency
There's
in the
limit.
space?
No, you know that.
No, I think you can find the information
you can
out
find
if you
the
want to.
information. It's just that unfortunately people don't take the time. And,
Right.
and okay, but look, you know what? There are a lot of artists in this country
Right.
who come from a sort of space of desperation,
Right.
and people will prey on that. And it's not that they don't take the time to know, they don't necessarily have the tools or the background to know. And to upcoming artists, that's where conferences and that's the biggest thing, is attend the conferences
Right,
and make
right.
it your business to know the business.
Absolutely. And meet people, right?
And meet
because
people.
they say
and
your
yeah.
network is your net worth,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So shout out to Spembele and everyone else who's
yeah.
running, successful music conferences. The Music in Bizo is right up there with the best. I think there's Africa Rise Music Conference as well. That's probably coming up right now. Totally amazing. We've got Access as well. Shout out to Music in Africa Foundation doing a fantastic job. These are all people that I will be inviting into
Yeah.
this podcast as well.
And they're all people
Yeah.
that are accessible if
Oh,
you
very
attend the
accessible.
conferences.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So if you want to bypass all the gatekeeping and all of that,
Gatekeepers.
okay,
All right.
then go to the conferences, because the conferences invite all the right people to come and speak.
Absolutely.
And go up to those people, shake their hand.
So you gain access to industry
You-
right there.
Yeah, the industry is wide open.
You gain access to industry.
Yeah, the industry is wide open.
You mentioned gatekeepers, Viv, and I think this is a pothole you just jumped into, and you walked into that one. So I'm gonna take you up on that one. I've been watching a lot of clips lately on TikTok. There's a young lady who recently went viral because she was saying Durban clubs are repeating the same roster of DJs. There's gatekeeping. There's so many talented people who don't get opportunities. There's another young fella who basically was from a hip hop side saying, well, I mean, there's a lot of gatekeeping in Durban, in KZN, something that we don't get to see in other provinces. And I think I spoke to you earlier to say there's a well-known celebrity, artist, producer, executive who I met and I said, hey, let's do something in Durban. And he said, oh, do you guys still gatekeep? Is there a gatekeeping in Durban? And if so, what does that look like? What is that?
Oh, 100%. Like, I don't think there's even a
You didn't
question
even
of
think about-
doubt.
Who's
No.
going to answer
You didn't
this one?
think about
no,
that.
there is. There is.
Wait,
and I think it's a
wait, you don't want a
widely-
second to think about it?
No.
Okay.
I don't need to
You go
because
on,
I
mate.
know from experience.
All
I know
right,
from,
let's talk
But
about
we
it.
don't know now because we
You
don't-
haven't been around.
No, but I think, my strategy.
But you experience as well.
Yeah, I was very gatekept as a young girl in the industry. And I think what's harder as a female in the industry is you're fighting the boys club and you're fighting gatekeeping,
Right,
right?
right.
And the gatekeeping is usually controlled by the boys club. So it's just, as a woman, it's 10
Right.
times harder.
Oh, dear God,
Because you're not at the soccer match that all the boys are playing at and going, oh, brother, I have this event, I'm going to put you on. And you're not there to start with,
Right,
right?
right.
Second to that, you're completely sexualized and
Of course,
your value is
You're locked in a
commodified by your
studio with a
sexuality.
producer
And
for
so you're
hours and
fighting
hours.
that. And
That is
then
sad.
it comes up to...
That is sad.
Yeah, and then so you have by the gatekeepers you have all of this, and then you work your way up, and then it's the gatekeeping level. Do you know what I mean? So it is just that much harder for women in the industry, And I think the thing about Durban is it's very like factionalized.
Right.
And I think that's what's different between the Johannesburg or mainstream industry
Right,
to
right,
Durban.
Is there gatekeeping in Joburg?
Not really. Like you'll find in Joburg, like one sort of record label or one sort of house will have an event, but they're inviting, like, you look at like someone like Ricky Rick, right?
Right.
Ricky Rick had Cotton Fest, and Ricky Rick had the sort of boys, was in Boys and Bucks and all of that.
Yes.
But he still was like with Casper and still with, it was like there was
with everyone.
collaboration.
Yes.
In Durban, you're part of this label or part of this clique, or you're part of this one. And if you're part of this one, you can't be involved in
And you
these
can't
things.
talk
And you
to that
can't talk
person.
to
You
that
can't
one,
be
and
seen to, because this one hates that one, and that
It's
one
like
hates
it's
this
like
one.
gangs
So if
almost.
I'm
Yeah.
Holly's friend, I can't work with Vivienne if they don't stand
No.
each other.
Exactly.
No.
It's just crazy.
Wow.
So it's a really
kind of
weird
And
space.
everybody will gang up against somebody that somebody's got beef with.
Ooh.
It's crazy.
It's almost sounding political, and I'm going to take your words. You said it's factional, and
Yeah.
that's a
It's
word I came across
factional.
in politics, which is why I
Yeah.
really try to stay as far away from politics, because somehow I also feel that when music sort of gets entangled in that vibe, then it's about who's doing what, who's powerful, and elections are coming up, guys. So anyway, I don't know.
But you know,
yeah.
sorry, if I can just go into
Please,
it a
please
little
come
bit,
in.
is that,
Yeah.
you know, I think what happens is there's this concept that somebody owns the route to the market.
Right.
And that concept is perpetuated and amplified through factionalism.
Oof.
Okay.
I mean, that's how apartheid government controlled South Africa.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And if it
So-
worked for the
What you mean.
apartheid
But in
government, or how
actual
would not?
fact, when you attend conferences and you meet people and you realize that a lot of those people who
Right.
claim that they're the route to the market really don't know anything about
They
the
don't know
industry.
anything about the business.
They don't
of
know
music,
anything
right?
about the business. They have no business trying to control your business because they themselves are running business like a spaza shop.
So if you empower yourself with knowledge and you attend conferences, you meet the right people, you can run circles around any forms of gatekeeping.
I would
There is
say.
no gatekeeping.
I think no,
Yeah.
there is gatekeeping. I think what you're saying, there is gatekeeping is like it's not actually a real thing.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Gatekeeping
It's
is
what
not.
they use to get in your head.
Yeah.
Programming.
Yeah.
Maybe
We've been
that's a better
hypnotized.
way
Yeah.
of describing it. Is like
Mental slavery. You
in
know?
Right,
Durban,
I
I would
got you.
say there's one particular person that everyone believes, if I go to this person and if I go to, I'm going to make it. Right?
okay.
What
All
they
right,
don't
right.
realize, and I think this is a problem we had in the industries, I just wasn't breaking through.
Right.
Right? I just couldn't. Like, I would have a song and it would kind of be there, but it just wouldn't break the ceiling. And I
Right.
really struggled with that. I mean, you know that because
Yep.
you've
Yep.
known me for so long. And eventually we looked at each other and we said, is this glass ceiling actually just something we can walk around? Is there another door we can go through?
Wow.
Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
And that's what we did. We
So-
went, okay, cool. We're just going to go, we want to make it in South Africa.
Yeah, and we
know?
were like, we are done with this. Like literally, people were bullying us. Like it's
Wow.
hard to even explain.
And the moment we went,
is
we're
so
not
sad.
buying into
we're
this.
not buying into it.
And I want to
Like,
be a South African star, not a Durban star.
Wait. Okay, now you're saying something very interesting. So you're saying that there's some people who actually try to run their careers so they can find success within the city or just the
Yeah.
province. That's it.
That's
I
it.
think it's like that whole big fish in the small ocean mentality, right? So like if I come to you and I say, Tando, like I am the boss here.
Right.
And I will get you.
I will get you the water that you need.
Right.
I will get you the food that you need. And you go, wow, like that's the boss. Like,
That's-
okay, cool. I need to have food. I need to have water. The boss is going to get it for me. But what you don't realize is like that boss answers to another boss.
Right,
And then there's
right.
actually that boss who can also get, you know what I mean?
And they only
when
go
you
here.
have that mentality and
Oh
you
my
think,
goodness.
they only go
guys.
there,
Yo.
you know?
yeah, I think like the industry is so much bigger than you think it is. And I wish someone had told me that when I was an upcoming artist.
Wow.
It's so much bigger,
Wow.
and all the people that you think hold the keys to open the doors answer to other people that actually hold the keys to open the doors.
That's crazy. And I sort of want to elevate the discussion to the breakthrough element, but then you just told me now, just based on what you just said, I just realized that you can be known to the world, to the country, to the globe as a newcomer, but you've been hustling for about 20,
Oh, 100%.
20, 30 years.
Yeah.
And you know what, as well, Tando, what a time to be alive in the
Right.
music industry.
Yeah.
Because nobody owns the route to market anymore.
No.
Nobody does.
Is this because of technology?
Technology,
Digital
yeah.
industry?
And
Yeah.
access.
And access, right? It gives you global access.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, you won Record of the Year, right?
Yes.
Because I really want to shift to, geez, man, you guys, you're making me need therapy right now. But anyway, that's why we have the crash out moment. But just moving to the good side of things, we saw your breakthrough, and we saw, mind you, the difficulty of getting that. It wasn't handed out.
Yeah.
And I could certainly say from my vantage point, there was no soul selling, because I've seen that there's a lot of soul selling in the space. You won Record of the Year. A record held by Brenda Fassie for 20 years in a very highly male-dominated and contested, important award at the South African Music Awards. Best Record of the Year. How did that make you feel? Did you even know that you were literally the second female artist to ever win
Yeah.
that award?
I didn't at the time. And I have to be really honest, the whole experience of, I think what happens when you're an up-and-coming artist is
Right.
you place so much value on things or certain events or certain
Right.
accomplishments. It's like, if I win Record of the Year, I have made it. Like, I just want to be at the Summers. I just want to,
Right.
like, you have all these moments and these things that are like, this is the benchmark for me.
Right,
And when
right.
you get there, it's exceptionally disappointing. Because it's
Yeah,
not, number one, it doesn't live up to your expectations,
yeah,
but
yeah.
also it's all not real,
not
right?
real.
It's not real. And I think winning the Record of the Year was it was obviously incredible. I felt very proud, but it was
Right.
one of the most disappointing moments in my
Ooh,
career.
Right. Tell me
Because
about that.
the music industry it's not for the weak.
Yep.
But there's also a lot of like fluff that goes into the music
Right,
industry.
right,
I think
right.
when you're an up-and-coming artist, you look at the Summers and it's glamorous and it's beautiful and it's
Yeah.
like all the stuff that you
made
want.
it.
I've made it. And then you get there and it's just a bunch of like blessers and slay queens buying
Right.
tickets for like 2,000 Rand a pop just trying to party. It's not even about music anymore.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? It's not about celebrating musicians. It's not, and it's like, this is so disappointing and it crushes your soul. And then you find out you're the first woman in 20 years and I was so angry. Do you know what I mean? I was
Jeez.
so angry because I'd grown up listening
Wow.
to phenomenal female artists that I thought were so deserving of this
Right,
honor.
right,
And
right,
you start
right.
to question, well, what industry am I in if like it's taken 20 years
Exactly.
for a woman
For a
to win
woman
Record
to
of the
win.
Year? What is the state of this
After
industry?
Brenda
Am
Fassie,
I, yeah,
no,
like how do
yeah.
I change this narrative? Like
Right.
how do I be a part of the solution and make sure it's not another 20 years before a woman wins?
Right. So advocating for women in the space.
Yes, yeah. And like,
Wow.
how do I turn how angry I felt about that
That's
summer
a different
win?
view. Like, I'm so
yeah,
thankful for
and
saying
it
that.
wasn't like, I didn't feel like, whoa, yeah, I'm just gonna go celebrate.
Right.
I felt really upset.
You went to your room and went to bed.
I went to my room and I went to bed. I didn't even go to the after party because I was so angry.
Okay.
And I was just so disappointed in this industry that I'd looked up to. And I
That's-
think that it's
wow.
really important for artists to also have realistic expectations of what the industry
Like
is.
Osama doesn't make you an artist.
Osama doesn't make you. Osama
Would you
doesn't.
say Grammy doesn't make you an
Yeah,
artist
and
as well?
it's
I
not
don't
that-
think so.
It's not
No.
that you don't appreciate it and you don't recognize it
yeah.
and that you're not grateful. It's just that there are just so many aspects to being an artist.
Yeah.
And, if your sole purpose is to go up and collect an award, like you're just missing out on the beauty of life. Really, you are,
Because you're chasing things that really aren't really.
They're not real. Yeah.
Because an award is just supposed to say, it's a pat in the back that's meant to say, look, you're doing a great job. We see you. But when people sort of, the narrative shifts like how you're putting
Yeah.
it, and it starts representing something that you're not sure of.
Yeah.
It becomes that. But then let's continue talking. You're bringing me down. Like, but let's talk you, the single you,
Yes.
triple platinum. How did that make you feel?
That was amazing because it
Right.
meant that it wasn't a fluke. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? It wasn't like a
One hit wonder.
yeah, or like a jump in the matrix
Right,
or something. in fact, what most people don't know is you sold more than Deeper
Than
did.
Deeper.
So, you has been Holly's biggest
I think a lot of it had to
biggest,
do with
record.
kind of like Deeper came out just within the core movement and within the like high piracy rate, and we weren't streaming platforms were still quite expensive and
Right.
inaccessible.
Right,
so
right.
Deeper was, I think if Deeper was released now, it would
It
sell
would've-
more.
Yeah.
But it was released in a time where a lot of stuff was pirated and
Yeah.
street,
And we were still sort of
just-
moving into the space we're in.
yeah, and we were just
we're
like, have
phasing in.
everything for free. Like,
Yeah.
we just, and I was upcoming and I was just listen to my music. I just want to be heard.
Yeah.
Whereas once you came, people knew my name. People knew how to find me on a Spotify or
Right,
on an Apple
right.
Music.
And actually, you was a
And-
much better song.
What do you
musically.
mean?
Musically.
I mean, that's debatable. It depends on who you ask.
Is this Mommy Wasserfall or Mommy Ray talking?
Mommy Wasserfall.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
that's my favorite song of hers.
And no
I
one
love that
can
song.
actually judge you for it because it's one of my favorites too.
Okay, good.
yeah, no, I love
Now
that
you heard it
song.
from me. Okay. Now I want to just talk, and this is basically to the both of you because I feel like whatever Holly experiences on the right, you've sort of been experiencing it on the left. Because you guys are sort of working together, you're
We
running
are
a record
one.
label.
We always say we're one.
You are,
We
actually.
are one.
You
yeah.
are, and I think we're only missing one person right now, and that's Mimi. And she should be here right now, and I don't know why Mimi's
You can
not
do
here.
your own podcast with
Mimi,
Mimi.
why
because
are you not
trust
here?
me, she's a
It's
big
gonna have to
enough
not be a
personality.
music industry podcast, though. Let me tell you, because that kid does not want to be in the music industry.
I love how she thinks, and she already knows exactly where she wants to go, and that's very important. But now more so on your role as artist manager. Apart just from the music business element, I've often heard you speak wherever you are invited to speak, saying to the artist managers, we understand you are chasing gigs for your artist and you want your artist to actually earn money, ongoing, because it's as if this tap is going to close. So you take so many gigs to the detriment of the health of your artist. And now they feel like they can't cope, they can't do anything, they can, how has that journey been? Because we've heard, and I think we've got to understand because of the work that you do, Holly, that you are involved, with diabetes in the country in terms of, advocacy and things like that. So can you just tell me about your stance where that is concerned?
Health-wise, it's been a very difficult journey for Holly.
Right.
I don't think people get just how difficult it is to live with type 1 diabetes and to perform with
Right.
type 1 diabetes. And another thing that I've always said is that being a performing artist is like being an Olympic sportsman or woman.
Right.
Because your body goes through pretty much exactly the same thing. And now you're running from gig to gig, you're not getting sleep, you're not getting nutrition, you're not staying hydrated. When you look at athletes, they've got teams around them. They've got a nutritionist. They've got
Right.
a this, they've got a that. And
They also don't go from one sprint to the next.
They don't
Right,
go.
right.
Do you know what I mean? They don't
Yeah.
go from, if you think about the adrenaline that pumps through your body when you get onto stage, the
Wow.
physical burden that it puts on your body,
Wow,
the
wow.
adrenaline, the serotonin, the cortisol,
Jeez,
all of that that's
yeah.
rushing through your body when you're on stage.
Right.
And then you just get into a car and go to the next
That's a
one.
bad combination.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
it's a
I mean,
bad
that's why we
combination.
all get so shocked
Yeah.
when artists drop dead.
Yeah.
Because their teams are working them to death. I don't know if everybody knows that Holly's been through major health issues, but she was prescribed medication that caused kidney failure.
Oh my word! I am so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
You've been handling that. Dear God.
Yeah. So, we've just, and that's another thing is that so many artists don't step back from the industry ever
right.
because they're so scared that they're going to lose their place.
Yeah.
But we have taken a very big step back from the industry because Holly's health comes first. She's in major recovery from all-out kidney failure.
Wow.
And we've got other things going.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know what? It's not, you can come back reinvented. And in actual fact, maybe you'll come back as a better artist.
Right.
Because you will have had that time to go and grow psychologically,
Sheesh.
artistically, come back from a different space. But what happens in this industry is that people are so scared. They
People
just
are
keep going, they
scared,
just
and
keep
wanna
going, they just keep
until
going.
they
they
can't
just-
go anymore, right?
And you know what? You will get depressed.
Right,
Because
right.
what you're doing is you're doing this, and there's a physiological reason
Yeah.
that you are suffering from depression.
Let's move
It's
to depression.
actually physiological.
Let's move to that, because mental health is a very, very, I'd say, important subject, but a lot of people are still not taking it as seriously as I feel like they should. So, have you experienced bouts of depression?
Oh, 100%. I suffer from chronic depression.
Jesus.
But I think also, like, we're creatives, right?
Yeah.
We're intrinsically empaths. We're intrinsically more emotional,
Right.
more emotionally sensitive, because we take emotion, we channel it into art.
Right.
We're very receptive to other people's emotions.
Right.
So we're starting off on a back foot in terms of depression already. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're a
Absolutely.
creative, you're
Yeah.
already predisposed
And most of
to
our
depression.
music comes right from here, right?
Exactly.
So everything is
so
just. But how do you deal
the fact
with
that
that?
musicians think that they can just keep going, like, you're already predisposed to it. You're a musician, you're a creative. And then you add alcohol,
sleep.
you add substance, you add not sleeping, you add getting on stage and spiking your cortisol and your serotonin and your this. And, like,
Jeez.
you wonder why you're depressed, why you're
Right.
anxious, why...
So all of these are rippling effects that actually come
I
from
mean,
this.
Yeah.
sleep is a very, very important thing in
Jeez.
your mental health and your physical health, because that's the time that your heart actually works the hardest. It pumps the blood up into your brain and it cleans out all the stress, hormones, all of that. So now you're an artist who's maybe sleeping 3 hours a day.
Right.
You are going to end up having like
major health
major,
issues.
you're gonna be in trouble.
major.
You're gonna have cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
But
you're gonna have major depression.
Yeah.
You are actually setting yourself up physically for depression.
You know what? I really wish that we had so much more time, because I really want to zone into this particular element, because a lot of people tend not to take care of themselves. But I've seen you dealing with all of this, and when I say you, I mean the both of you, because again, what is experienced here is also experienced this side. So I'm in awe of how you guys have managed to do it. You are actually encyclopedias that still need to be studied. And again, this is where now we are telling our people who want to get into the space that, well, you need to look after yourself. You need to really take care. In fact, it's leading me to my crash out moment. Again, I'm in awe, because I realize that with your brand, you've also managed to do other things. Baking as well, which is a family, thing for you guys. I believe you even we were nominated for an international award.
I
And
was. We actually won 3 international awards for our cooking
Say
show.
this
yeah.
again.
3 taste
It
awards.
plays on
It was on SABC3. It's also on Prime. So you
On
can
Prime
stream
as
it
well.
on Prime. Yeah.
Wow, Baking with
With
the
the
Rays.
Rays,
Now this
yeah.
is where Mimi Ray should actually be.
This is the time to
She's the one I
shine.
want to talk to about that particular one, because that's so amazing. And
She
you also
is the star of that show. I mean, Holly, yeah.
Oh, so you-
we
you-
always
you
say
get to
Oh,
that.
no,
be-
I'm just this. I'm
you
just
get
there
to
for
be-
She's the-
vibes.
So and then we get us after as well. So shout out to you guys
Thank
for the work
you.
that you're doing. This is me now crashing out as we closing out the show, right? You've heard it, guys. So many people are called newcomers in the space. Meanwhile, they've been hustling and working very hard to create strong networks, attending music conferences, shout out Spembele, attending, meeting with different people, accessing the music industry and bypassing gatekeeping, because gatekeeping is literally something that happens when people are so insecure about the spaces that they actually operate on, right? So please do not sell your soul. Please do not say that because this person is closing doors for me, there aren't any doors that are open. And you can only find out if you educate yourself, learn about the music business, go out there and make your money. Damn, guys, you're making me worked out right now. I really don't like that. Please go out there, because there's so much more. Guys, there's a living right now. And you can do it right here, okay? And also, please take care of yourself. Don't go out chasing gigs at the detriment of your own health and mental well-being. If you need some time out, go for some time out, because in order to find success, you need to still be alive for you to actually get it and enjoy it, all right? with your family. Now, forgive me, don't forgive me, I don't care. That's me crashing out because I see this on a daily basis. But nonetheless, siwi music, yabo, industry, and lena music, business, music podcast on Vuma FM, where we try to educate, inspire, and also look at lived experiences from those who did it to show you guys that now, wherever you are, you too can actually do it. Guys, just one last thing. Advice to those who actually want to get into this industry, someone who wants to be a Holly Ray, someone who wants to be a Mommy Ray, artist manager, run a music business. Can you even run a record label in Durban? And just a quick one-liner. Can we?
One-liner, I think it's going to help. Number one, educate yourself. The information is out there.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It's not that there isn't the access to the information. It's out there. Educate yourself. Number two, build something bigger than just being a musician or just being a singer. Like that is like 20% of what it takes to make it, honestly. Like you need to look at the big picture. You need to look at what you do when you're not just Holly Ray the singer.
All right.
And then I think the other thing is, like you said, you can't have success if you're not there to enjoy it.
Yep.
Health is wealth, and I think, I know that's so cheesy, Confucius moment, but it's cheesy because it's true, right?
Right.
Putting your health first, I think, should always be the priority.
Yeah.
Because we don't need any more young artists who's dropping dead on stage. We just don't need that.
Amen to that. That's an amen to that. Viv?
Everything she says.
I told you, yin and yang.
We are one.
Yin and yang, that's what it is. Guys, this is where we come to a close. Guys, thank you so much for coming through. I am looking forward to a part 2 and a part 3, right? Because there's so much more to unpack. And I am such a huge fan of your work. Please keep at it and don't ever stop. You all are doing good. Don't let nobody tell you different. And to those at home, those who are watching, wherever you're watching, Business and Music podcast right here on the MyTV. And again, shout out to Iko, the fashion incubator, Spotless Works SA, T, Tando, Jido Tanlinyama. We out.